Welcome back, friends, and whatever else not. I'm happy to be joined by you and Vince because we've got ourselves another hell of a best of three. Vince, tell me what you think about this one, because Liquid, we expect it to be lopsided from the start. Do you find yourself a little split down the middle, or what?
I am, actually. I agree with Maui Snake and Potter on the desk there that I think this is going to be way closer. I could see this being a three-mapper. I probably echo their statements about Chaos being the favorite. I would definitely go on that, along that side, or that kind of thought pattern, but sure. I don't see it being a blowout. I don't see us having like a 16-5 like Vertigo. I don't see anything like that, Scrawny. I think we're gonna be on for a bit of a nail bite though.
Well, I'm okay with that. It's not, you shouldn't bite your nails, Vince. It's probably not too good for your cuticles, but you can definitely worry. All right, I'll join you on that one, bud, because we've got Spongy and Shake Zula over here on that CT side. That's a duo that I think still kind of has a little fight in it, a little bite behind its bark. Yeah, okay, they've got two new guys, but there's a little bit of chemistry between those two in particular. And Grim's a great player, but Shake Zula's a great leader. And let's see what he can do here. He is at bat towards Cat, looking for a second headshot, but Zeppa's had enough of that one. Then we've got Moose, an underrated Canadian killer, but he never even gets a chance. Taken down by his fellow countryman, John G, with a headshot off the side of Marketplace. So P250 armored, you love to see it in a pistol round. You know, Stunna brought up one Harry Russell. That's his go-to. Steel, he's trying to find timing through the murder hole, catching Spongy on rotate as Vanity connects two headshots to close off the pistol. So Chaos, they aim at that B bomb site, split through Cat and Apps, and they take it to their name. A T-side pistol win to kick off Mirage.
Just what the doctor ordered. Beautiful work from Chaos, and in particular, Shake Zula had a huge bit of impact at the start of the round. I actually thought he was going to lock this one down for Triumph on the catwalk side, but he got neutralized after the first pick. So we'll have to see how this full AK and Galil purchase works out. Not necessarily the most common of experiences. Normally you'd see a couple of SMGs tossed in the mix, but they've gone in hard. And so far, so good. Spongy with a big one tap, but it's still going to be going the way of Chaos as they look to just try and pivot and pincer onto the site. Big one tap from Shake Zula this time. Some damage being inflicted back on return to the CTs. And now there's going to be a fast rotation through the window. They do miss out on the window jump from Zeppa. And Vanity, what? What was that?
I can't.
Well, they just witnessed.
It's all on him, man. He's going to have to do it all. Vanity, a killer with no concern for who's on the other end of that barrel. The Galil is what he's looking for here versus Moose and Shake Zula. Both those CTs out from connector. He gets that first headshot. It's his chance to redeem, and he swings wide just to die. 18 health makes the difference for Shake Zula. A force buy that pays off here for Triumph. Those deagles at the B site is what got the rotate moving over towards A. And Vince, if you missed it, I'll tell you what went down. We had Vanity in connector trying to wallbang stairs. And just as he goes for the spray, watch this.
My God. If that's not a tilt to Scrawny, I don't know what is. And then he loses the clutch as well. It's like he could make amends if he wins the clutch, but then you lose the clutch?
Yeah.
There's so much shame, embarrassment over that. Like, how do you justify? You got to get on with it, I guess. Just put it to the deep, repressive parts of your memory and just move on.
I would like to think that I know Vanity's sense of humor well enough to realize that when this is all done, all right, when the series is over, and maybe hopefully even sooner than that, he's laughing about it. You know, a little hiccup here at the start of a series. But again, because of the format changes that the online realm have afforded us, this is a best of three. It's not like that's been pulled out at round 28 of your BO1 to kind of, you know, crumble all around you. I think it would then be Chaos also looking for a new player, if you know what I mean. But all is good. All is well. Live, laugh, love.
See if they can live through this round at least. Triumph do have the vastly superior weaponry, but Vanity, the man in question, the man has had a bit of misery with the P250, is going to try and turn his fortunes and Chaos's around. He does go down to the hands of Junior, but that's information gathered. It was through the smoke, and they have enough real estate to work with. Leaf is being sprayed down through the triple box, but still survives to tell the tale, and more importantly, gets the bomb planted down. Spongy, low. Moose has been tagged. They have enough utility and a kit at their disposal to make a go of this, but Chaos, they're still in this round, Squaddy. This is doable. They can win this.
Absolutely so. They've got to unroot those players over towards the jungle side. Zeppa, he gets his kill versus Spongy. Now it shakes Zula to try and swing. 3 frags. Fill the kill feed to the favor of Chaos in their post plant. Junior's going to continue to tippity-tap with that M4, but nothing further for him. Zeppa shuts it down with a 3-piece, but check out that HP. Something like sub 50 for the 3 survivors there of Chaos. They will convert after the fact. Nice positioning here from Zeppa. He knew nobody could come get him, just peppering them, tapping them back, and forcing Triumph here into a save. Well, no, not a save at all. Excuse me. We're just going to go balls to the walls. Full buy for the most part. MP9 on Penny is the best they have to work with.
Yeah, it's a pretty sad state of affairs when MP9 is the jewel in the crown. And it may be taken away sooner rather than later. Shakzula being aggressed on, nades flying around him, and it's the shrapnel of Zeppa that will claim his life and open up the B site for some business. Moose is pretty close around the ladder area, and Penny with the aforementioned MP9 darting back and forth in window. The bomb is being planted though, and at this stage Triumph would do well to maybe hold on to these Kevlars and these weapons and try and have a go of it into the next round. MP9 does find a kill, and they're going to trade up to an AK. That's pretty big, and that just gives them that little bit more incentive to save and hold fire. This does mean that Chaos should be favorites to take the round, and it doesn't seem like the CTs are even interested, so they will take the round, but at least they take an AK-47 out of it and can now use it against the oncoming Ts in round 5.
You know, when we talk about the head-to-head between these two teams, assuming I'm still speaking, of course, of the triumph of literally yesterday, you know, Chaos have the edge in the head-to-head matchup, but it's always incredibly close maps. And so I think that the desk, they had to, and they did well, to really kind of put on blast Triumph's most recent roster changes. Like you look at this group, you have 3 teams of the 4 in this group coming in today, very much self-aware and claiming themselves they have had 0 practice. So how can you not give Chaos some sort of an edge here? They are the longest standing roster by default of being together for more than 1 day here in Group A. And it's a rapid clash here on this A site. Chaos looking to set an aggressive tempo. John G, he loves this kind of stuff. He just runs out into that bomb site, AK ripping heads off, and we have just these dilapidated pistols of Triumph left over. 2 of them on Kevlar, and a buy just around the corner. So definitely something worth keeping alive, but Steel lingers on. He's going to stick on top of bomb, still looking for a bit more damage here, and he's going to find it. Shakes Dula. Aha! It seems the wall bang can pay off when your teammates aren't in the way.
Who knew, right? Your teammates' heads aren't blocking the bullets. Things go a little bit better. They're going to look to try and save this AK again, which is going to feel like an antique at this point. It's been around the server for a while, and Triumph will be able to hold on to it, barring Junior overextending. Doesn't look likely. 4-1 start. Chaos off to a cracking beginning. Leaf yet to get off the mark. He's still on 0. Hasn't really been required, though, to be fair. The rest of his team have been certainly firing on all cylinders. And you did see John G there in the previous round. It seems like some players really come alive. They really flourish when things get chaotic, when all the nades, the flashes, the smokes are flying around them, and John G just has that clarity of mind to persevere and push forward and get frags. We'll have to see if that continues to be the case as this best of 3 continues. Zeppa though going to trade out with Penny, and it's another aggressive A hit. This time Leaf is going to get the 1 kill, and some more spray from Penny for 2, and Junior holds the line. Much better defense from Triumph, and it's looking like it's going to be their 2nd round.
Yeah, Penny definitely worth more than his name in that play. Just holds strong back behind the staircase and shuts them down with 3. Now, I think Maui Snake alluded to the potential op versus op situation we'll have unfolding between these 2 teams, and I've got to give the edge to Junior. You know, this team, Triumph, again, in their previous state with Grim, they turned heads over the recent, 6 months of online Counter-Strike. And while Grim was hands down, undoubtedly the key piece, that most bright of shining stars, it wouldn't have happened if the other individuals in this team were slouches. Shake Zula, Spongy, I love their cohesion. I love the chemistry they bring to the table. Junior, just an incredible opper. He's one of those snipers that has like a ridiculous rate of fire. When 3 guys come around the corner and he's going for those quick little peeks, he's going to snap you back, it seems, time after time. And then, of course, we had Curry, who is no longer here, not because of being picked up by another team, but because for the time being, his Counter-Strike career comes to a bit of a close, going off to university and looking to aspire for more. So props to that. You have to respect it. What's left? Still talent, but obviously you got to give these guys some time to grow. And Steel's been given also a lot of time here in this play particularly. So let's focus on the micro. He goes for the fake plant, tries to get one to peek, and does so, almost calling out Penny for a kill. Think, Vince, one single shot from that AK denies Penny the 4-piece and gives Steel a chance at a post plant. But that gets taken back because of this kid right here.
Yeah, Steel, though, getting a frag in that endeavor does keep the CT economy in a bit of an awkward position. So fair play. I mean, Chaos easily have another rebuy. They can replenish those guns, no issue at all. And so can Triumph. But this puts down Shake Zula into an MP9. This lowers everybody's economy on Triumph to sub $1,000 apart from Shake Zula, who of course has the SMG instead. So Chaos, playing for the bigger picture with that Steel play, if they can turn the tail of Triumph, if they can get successful one more time, it puts Triumph into a nightmarish, hellish position, and they'll know it, hence the tactical timeout. So both teams trying to come up with some ideas, but plenty of firepower on the server. Let's have a look what Chaos decide to do. Judging from their spawns, nothing too out of the ordinary, so it doesn't look like we're going to have any A play at least, maybe more of a mid or a B wrap.
Couple flash bangs at the top of mid, smoke to block the vision. Junior gonna hold and rattle around downrange. Doesn't connect to anything, but he does now have a T underneath the lip of his ledge. Vanity trying to give that support here to John G. A little wild spray down, again, just dumping utilities here, really puffing their chests inside of mid and gaining a bit of map control for it. We've still got that crossfire between Penny and Moose, but Moose is removed from the situation as he's called back into action towards B. Understandably, we've got Chaos starting to stack up on the cusp of that bomb site. Jonji, he's meant to be a wrench in the works, a bit of a ruse towards A, as the rest of his team prime themselves to hit this other side of the map. Shake Zula, he hears the audio cue. Vanity landing on top of Moose, his hooves not too far removed until Leaf comes in with that second kill. Then Zeppa gives him cover. 9 frags, 3 deaths on Zeppa as he looks to give cover, but now he's got to do it on his own. He goes wide to be denied by Junior. 2 op shots as he flies out from market. The opper shuts things down.
Exquisite work from Junior, especially that second shot was so rapid. It talks about that fire rate that you were talking about before, Scrawny. Yeah, that you just saw it in action. He absolutely destroyed that push. The first frag on the cross from the van in a 2v2 when both the CTs are stuck in the market. That's a really important kill to get. So really showing his worth there, did Junior. And it's going to be a 3rd round to Triumph. It's getting as close as we were anticipating.
You know, the thing with this roster is it's like, yes, they lost something huge in Grim. They lost something special. You have to be a special player to be picked up by the likes of Liquid. So Grim is the evidence of that, but it creates space. It creates a new face for Triumph, perhaps, where this offer becomes more and more demanding and commandeers games at times. But right now, it's Zeppa and Moose trying to duel out here on this B site. Zeppa still stands. Man's doing work so far tonight. They've got that man advantage, Chaos. There's smokes everywhere, staying true to their name. Steel trying to figure out where is what and who is when. Steel swapping over to that AK now, welcomes the cat peek as the 4v3 turns 4v2, and they can't afford to lose that op, Vince. They have to walk away.
Exactly. That's exactly it, Scrawny. And that the 4v2 turns into a save. They cannot afford to even remotely go for this. And this is where, if you dart back a few rounds ago when Steel was in that 1v3 and took his sweet time, when you were eloquently explaining what happened to Curry and where he currently is, we are in a situation where this has caught up with them. Now they have to save. Now they're in this position where, okay, we can't afford to go for these audacious plays. We can't afford to go for these 50-50s. We have to just play for the bigger picture. And so Chaos, they did come up against it. There was 2 rounds in a row there for Triumph. You're thinking, okay, here we go. They're going to start to get back into this game. Junior's firing off some really nice shots. Chaos bring them back to earth with a bang. And Zeppa, 11-4 to his name with 126 ADR. He is lighting up the scoreboard almost every single round.
Doing what he has to so far. Junior, nice. Little, you know, expedites the deep peak, gets boosted into the apartments, and this could find timing as Steel is the only player in there. But bomb will be flirted back towards A, perhaps. Just a very patient setup here from Chaos, anticipating that in this sort of a round, Triumph try something drastic.
It would make sense to as well, really. I mean, you're in a situation where, sure, there's 2 centerpieces that you want to try and keep alive, one of which is Junior, and he has got a pick, which means that Sheikh Zula maybe can peer out there and pick up the gun. There's no one home for the tees, so at the very least, they're going to be able to take some trophies out of this. And now Chaos pushing in. That Molotov is going to stop Vanity from pushing out on the balcony. This leaves the troops over on Tetris a little bit more vulnerable. There's a player perched down below in the shadow, but it's the massive Spongy, and the M4 is going to rip through his head, leaving the site by and large barren. There's a couple players, a couple skirmishes to come to fruition, and Junior may have a couple things to say about that as he's tagged down to 30, gets his 2nd kill on the board, but he's the last man standing, and they know exactly where he is. Will they chase him down? They have the economy to do so, but they can't afford to take too many more casualties at this point, Chaos. It's not as if they're lumbering around with $10,000 each. They're actually both below 2,000, so they may just give this one up, allowing Junior to save the AWP, but of course Chaos will have a 6th round, which is great news from their perspective.
You know, in a round like this where Chaos still picked us up, you know, we tip our hat towards them. But I do kind of want to start a conversation of a bigger picture when it comes to a guy like Junior. You know, in North America, we look towards the potential rise of star oppers. And I mean like hard, dedicated sniper rifle players. Oh, he's going to burn! Just at the very end, they take that sniper away. Poor Junior. Denied his right to keep the big green. Vince, that's got to sting. And I was going to make a point where I think you have to put Junior in contention for one of the best oppers in NA right now. I truly believe that. If you think about hard, dedicated snipers, you know, we don't have the Skadoodles anymore. Team Liquid's, I mean, Stewie's op looked great today, but again, there's no hard dedication, not to a degree like Junior. You know, you think like Cirque or whatever not, but that's the Bulgarian beast who came on over and took this scene by storm in terms of the sniper. If I throw Junior up there and you want a counter argument, as anybody could, I'm welcome. You know, I welcome the conversation, but I just ask, who else? Junior's my man, Vince.
It's a very good point, Scrawny. We can jump back to that in a second. It seems like Chaos are about to obliterate this A site, and there's really nothing that can stand against them. No counteractive plays. Junior, the man that we were just highlighting behind the smoke, and if he pulls this off, it would be one of the plays of 2020. I would certainly put him up. They're going to go aggressively, John G, but there is Steel to counteract. And I do agree, like, if we're talking about homegrown talent from the NA region, yeah, I mean, it has been a bit sparse, hasn't it? We saw Stewie play with Liquid with the AWP earlier today, but we also saw Nafly pick up the AWP for a few rounds on the CT side. It's not like Stewie is there going to be that AWP every single round in, round out. And it does leave a question mark. There have been questions like who is going to be the next person to take the NA scene by storm and really solidify themselves as NA's best AWPer. There's a very short list of players, and I think Junior is towards the top of it.
And I would say that, you know, it doesn't help that, like, we lose guys, say, like Wardell. We saw, you know, Wardell for a while was that conversation piece, and then he's gone on to Valorant for success, of course. So, yeah, it's a conversation to be had. But so is this one on the B-bomb site, Vince. We've got pressure being applied. They lose a member to the sniper of Moose, who is now screwed over by Steel. He did not let off the pedal, just instantly sprints back behind bench. Sheikh Zula, he's got that one and done, and Junior, well, he hopes Steel oversteps. He's waiting for it, and Steel doesn't seem to want to give it. Spongy all the while, still shoulder to shoulder. Potential for a flank here, so they're wary, and they're nervous, and they should be, because there's a lot on the line and not much more If they can't save this, they're going to go ahead and try and take the chance. They go forward only to be shut down on the cusp of the doorway. 16 frags, 4 deaths for Zeppa, 127 ADR, 11 rounds deep. Vince, this match is full of stars, and they're on both sides, clearly.
Yeah, and they're shining bright, honestly. And we already saw Twists have a phenomenal start, 14-1. Zeppa's right up there. And whereas Twists did start to slow down, let's see if Zeppa is going to run out of gas, or if he's just going to steam ahead and snowball this out of contention. Triumph, they're in trouble. They're eyeing up a potential 3-9 scoreline, and they just have Deagles. I say just Deagles, but Penny's going to put his to use and steal the receiving end of a battering as Chaos look to try and recover as best as they can. Penny goes down to the hands of who else but Zeppa, who doubles up. It seems like he's not slowing down anytime soon. And with those kills, the ace site will follow, and surely a 9th round on top of that. Sheikh Zula, right side of the Molotov, not going to be burning alive, but his teammates have all fallen around him. Gonna have to try and lead them to victory in this round, but won't be happening. And so Chaos do take the 9-3, and this has looked a little bit too comfortable if you're on the side of Triumph.
Yeah, and I would say that comfort comes off of the success of Jonji and Zeppa. And if we go back again to kind of where Chaos were starting to make those waves at the start of the online spree 6 months or so ago, Zeppa and Jonji were really a good revitalization for Chaos. Okay, I would say Zeppa kind of has like the Esperanto effect, where if we're playing on Mirage specifically, you can almost bet that Zeppa's at the top of the scoreboard, and it just seems like a comfortable place for him. He stampedes through all sorts of setups as seen in that last round. But this one here starts with the clash on ramp. A casualty per team, and Jonji lingers on towards mid with Leaf by his side. Jonji's ability to entry, Zeppa's ability to clutch, those are two things that I think really kicked Chaos into a next gear. It's what really allowed them to consistently contend with the tier above them that they still haven't necessarily completely punctured through, but definitely have made waves. We know that.
Oh yeah, these waves beginning to crash alongside the rocky outskirts of B. Not too much time for Triumph in this half to steer this ship away from a truly gruesome end.
Uh-oh.
And, well, it's just got a little bit worse. Leaf has got one. Sheikh Zula, though, going to hold the line, but he's tagged, and now he's been fragged, and it's Jonji again. Another entry frag. Spongy and Junior. Last two men pushing in together. Vanity missing a shot he really should be landing. And is that going to cost them the round? Potentially so. Spongy going to make the most of that. But now Junior's shown his hands. And as good as he is, Vanity will not make the same mistake twice. He snatches the round away, giving Chaos a 10-3 lead in the process.
Yes, sir. Way too commandeering of a lead here for Chaos. Triumph just kind of getting overrun at the moment. I haven't even seen anything that Chaos haven't been able to do. They've gotten away with every game plan they've come into a round with, and they just follow through with it. You know, sure, there's that one round. Think about that. It's scary to think about, but, you know, the little mishap by Vanity over towards that A site, that accounts for 33.333% of the rounds from Triumph. Now, if the CZ can work out, maybe things are different. Oh boy, Moose just somehow shuts down the push on that B bomb site. I tried to paint the picture where Chaos can get away with what they will. Well, not this time around. Moose, he's got other ideas. Seems like Triumph have a fourth at least.
I can respect the decision to go for a Mach 10 rush, but Triumph were up to the task. They answered the beckoning call. And so it's looking like they're going to have a fourth. Steel, though, in a similar situation to this, did take a couple of kills down previously, but this is a 1v5. He does at least have control of the bomb. If we're looking at 1v5, you know, the checklists of things to try and pull off the miracle, that's a big one. If the bomb's down on B site, he almost has 0%. As it stands, maybe 1 or 2%. As the CTs are going to be jumping up and down, looking for that information. They also have Spongy, who's watching the back flank, and they have Penny, who's watching into underpass if Steel does make moves. So every single feasible angle is locked down. First kill goes his way. Moose holding the position, holding fire, time beginning to dwindle. This is where the Mach 10's a bit of a nightmare, but there's too many bullets, too many angles, and he will be a dead man. Triumph get a fourth.
There you go. That's a little something to work with. Zeppa 19-5 still over on that T side. 11-8 is Jonji as the second player behind him. Triumph's top fragger. Most success clearly comes from Junior. That op was a key piece to come at some of these rounds, but it was really Moose who kind of shut that one down on his own there. Mac 10 upgrade paid off for the third. I have it on good authority that Moose actually pulled an all-nighter last night to play this game. The man has not slept, Vince. He is a machine.
Wow, that's...
I guess it's like, it's like crunching before an exam, right? If you've only got 1 day of practice before your first official, you've got to squeeze it for everything you can.
I mean, I respect the hustle. I just wonder, how could he be possibly playing at 100%? A game like CS that's so Twitch-focused when it comes to reactions and decision-making, and you're basically chugging along on no sleep. We'll have to see. That being said, though, Chaos, they've turned this around. They're at a heavy deficit, and suddenly it's a 2v2. Junior is going to even the odds. Penny moving in through connector, but they've lost the B site, which is going to allow Chaos to get into good post-plant positions. They have a flash and a nade. They've thrown out the flashbang already, but here come Triumph. And Scrawny, they desperately need this round.
Absolutely so. And sometimes when you're forced into a situation like this, you just have to throw caution to the wind. Wide swing from Penny, trying to fight Zeppa on that back bomb site. Jonji, he's got the closer corner. He's right on the other side of this. Junior looking for the kill, gets that first one, but oh, it's Penny with an instant headshot around the side of Arch to give Triumph their fifth. Vince, you say, how can he be on 100%? It's because you think of him as a mere man, but this is Moose. And he has helped them get at least 5. Ladies and gents, hold still. We'll be back with the second half in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. 10-5 is the score line here, as myself and Vince are ready to bring you the second half. I'm a little out of breath, Vince. It must have been that action-packed first 15.
You sound like you might have been physically active, shall we say.
Every day.
Mate, I'm watching that back now. What is that?
You can't stop me. It's called freedom of expression, Vince. And Zeppa's looking to express himself with violence. He's here on side of the arch, only gets the one. A short-lived show from Zeppa. But the show must go on, they say. Break a leg. Steal, he breaks face. Into Penny, the USP connects. And a 2v2 set to unfold with bomb control on top of it. Moose, you don't want to sleep on him. Can he clutch this one out with a minute on the clock?
He at least has the element of surprise. That's the only thing that's really going for him right now. And maybe he can carve out one of these heads to open it up nicely. Still some time. Has got the drop onto Leaf, but now his position is known. Steal. Gonna try and make this an untenable round win for Moose, who is darting backwards and forwards. Some chip damage, but nothing too significant. Steal without the Kevlar could be an issue, but still puts the bullet between the eyes. And Moose finally gonna get some rest. Chaos taking 11-5 lead.
Solid stuff there. Steal that kill right there versus Spongy, but it was this one. Insta-tap versus Vanity. If Vanity gets the kill instead, this B site's open for the taking. We've got Moose who can more confidently come on over to try and lend that helping hand. Instead, it's Chaos who had a fantastic first half wrapping up that second pistol. So I don't think they let off the pressure here whatsoever. And I think that's evident with a man like Zeppa taking to the top of mid. And Triumph, well, try to penalize these kinds of aggressions. You know, there's no reason to count yourself out. Just if Chaos want to get hyper aggressive, try and punish exactly that. They'll wait, as patience is a virtue. Minute 20 still on the clock, no utility for the T's. It's only P250s at a single Deeg.
Yeah, this is pretty much as bare as it gets for Triumph. Maybe even taking this as a mini timeout for the next round. Steal at range with a FAMAS, going to be chipping in for the first, and John G will be joining him unless Triumph are very careful. Moose, 4 HP. Zeppa closing in on window, going to get up close and personal with the MP9. John G's got 2, and at range, it's straightforward. It's easy pickings. Chaos with a 12-5. They can keep these MP9s in play if they so choose, and why the hell not? Take it as a bonus. You've got a fast round lead. The pressure isn't on you just yet, and you could even win from this position as well, which would be the cherry on top.
Absolutely. Excuse me. Oh, my God. AK's back in. Junior, not quite as equipped as he'd hoped to be. So he's a rifleman at times, but we all know it's with the op that he shines the most. So he'll have to wait. Vanity just going to be tucked down underneath the palace, able to manage the MP9, but he's not going to get himself a second. Jonji's got teammates all around him. Molotov goes down preemptively, and a bit of a gap in that smoke buys time. They decide to throw down another. Junior, he is facing them forward. Oh, the dink through smoke from Jonji. And now they have eyes over top of the staircase, but they don't have control of CT. All that remains here for Chaos. What? Steal just jumps and somehow hops over the head of Moose. This is Chaos. It's hectic, and it's success for the side of the CTs. Vince, go ahead and try to explain that.
I can't. I would love to, but I can't. It was just madness. I mean, you use the MP9s, right? You have to use weapons to their advantage. Where are they strongest? Well, the MP9, you can run and gun. You can play aggressive. You can mix it up. You can get crazy with it. And Triumph just not anticipating that level of aggression through the smokes. I've got to give a lot of credit to Chaos. It looks scrappy from Triumph, but almost this, just lay down and do whatever you so choose mentality, this lone wolf mentality on the retake has worked out so well for Triumph. Or sorry, for Chaos. And now Triumph in real trouble. They've just got Deagles, 2 Kevlars behind those Deegs. And this could be the final curtain coming down on Mirage. Steal with the first, takes out Spongy. And now that they've replenished all those guns and they've upgraded the MP9s to rifles, AK-47s, 3 of them in total, this is looking like it's going to be so difficult for Triumph to make any kind of mark on this round, let alone the comeback. Penny, last man standing, grenade going to be landing by his feet. and that will take him out.
Ouch.
14-5.
Yeah, just blown to smithereens. Kind of, you know, I would say a bit of the situation too. Right unfolds that one there. Just blown out of the water is kind of the name of the game so far for Triumph. Unfortunately, you know, again, we had an incredibly close back and forth affair between these teams on their head-to-head before Triumph lose 40% of their roster. And they just need time to gel. I mean, you can excuse it, you know, like I'm sure that their expectations have to be as kind of tempered as our own. And it's just nice to see that Chaos are coming into this weekend's event or this week's event with some very real firepower, Vince. Like, this looks like a very well-gelled roster. I would love to see them try and take down like the likes of Liquid or a Furia. And we could very well get that, right? I mean, the winner of this best of 3 faces off versus Liquid for the top of the group. What a fun gift that could be. But that's assuming Chaos follow through. Maybe this is just their map choice. Maybe Nuke has something special in store for us. Penny, he's going to get aggressive and gets denied. He had 1 kill to his name, but it's Vanity up close with that sniper to stop him. Sheikh Zula finding timing on the flank, and he's at the B site while all of the other members of Triumph are still here on A with Steel. He's going to go ahead and try and skate past that Molotov, but they're all too ready for him, and Triumph aren't done yet. 4 survivors there in the 20th round. They're still trailing by 8. Don't get me wrong, but it's never over until it's over, Vince. And so we sit back and wait. Chaos, they're going to buy in with what they can, which is everything you'd ask for. In fact, more so than that. Double op setup here between Vanity and Jonji.
I don't want to take anything away from Triumph winning that last round, but it did feel like it was mainly just backfired, very aggressive plays from Chaos. You probably can't put down and say, okay, they're going to do this every single round. Like, Triumph didn't necessarily crack open with some huge strats or anything like that. They just got the upper hand in trades with aggression. And it's going to be the opening pick that does go the way of Chaos, but Spongy instantly capitalizing and bringing it back to a tied affair. There is a smoke in play. Zeppa's waiting behind that. Junior now going to open his account, but he gets shut down from Zeppa straight away, who moves from 24-8. He is still chugging along with the frags. Double op still in play for Chaos, and Vanity realizing his position is a little bit scary, so he backs away onto the CT boxes instead, and they would be even okay with a post plant at this stage. But now they've made the right call. They made the correct read here, Scrawny. They're deciding to stack more players over on the B side, and that's where the bomb is currently residing, but there is time for a rotation.
Absolutely. And there's always the chance that Zeppa catches both of them. Spongy, he just went for the reload. And then the stampeding feet moving back towards the spawn of the T's is going to tell Zeppa everything he needs to know. He's going to give chase to this, completely justifying Chaos keeping their other 2 players on that bomb site. It's going to be Vanity and Jonji, the double sniper setup, ready to receive. No smoke, but there is a flashbang on Sheikh Zula. And if they're just going to try and push their way past Palace, then Jonji, he's going to have to stop them. He sees them, the warning sign, and the double sniper connects. 15 rounds to Chaos, 9 map points.
Lovely proactive play, and you did highlight this yourself, Scrawny. Going aggressive outside of the B apps gives you so much information and does afford you the luxury of stacking more players over on the A side. It looked as though they'd fallen for that fake at first, but a well-timed peek as Moose gets caught out on A. They convert it, 9 map points, and Chaos have looked by and large flawless. I mean, I can't necessarily say that I've been super impressed with everyone on Chaos, because Zeppa has just stolen so much of the limelight with how ridiculous he's been playing.
Sure. I would say to you, Vince, for someone who maybe hasn't cast as much Chaos, that like just take this as kind of like a Liquid light for the moment, and think about Grim on Vertigo, where it's like, they could all have it. You know, sometimes it's Jonji that's just commandeering everything on his own. Steel even takes over the show at times, right? Like, he has, I would say, some of the best clutch factor in this whole team. That's why you're going to find Steel sometimes the last man alive more often than not. So please don't take my words out of context. I am not calling Chaos Liquid, but it's just, this is why Zeppa's at the top right now. You know, it's like, this is his map, in my opinion. He shines on Mirage.
Oh, he's shone very bright so far. And yeah, Steel's just been around the block so many times. Very cerebral player. Very intelligent player. Jonji.
Boomer.
He is. He's got that experience with it, though, that wisdom with it. Jonji with a double spray goes down, but he's done enough to thwart Triumph's initial push, and now they're going to get desperate. They're going to look to push their way in, and in doing so, they could open up. They've offered their back, and Steel is going to chomp down Junior, who has been really one of the only shining beacons on Triumph as the last man standing. He would be able to pull off an ace if he takes this one out, and he's still on short. Bomb dropped down because there was so much frantic action, still plenty of time at his disposal. He doesn't have to rush into anything. He goes for the cross and Zappa puts him down, and that's going to be the win for Chaos.
Yes, sir. Understandably so. I think we all saw it coming, Vince. Once the map got rolling, Chaos just looked in control of the situation from the very get-go. And you know, there was moments where some of the stars on the side of Triumph tried. Moose shutting things down on the defense over towards that B site here and there. Junior with some nice flicks as well, but just nothing that could contest the caliber of Chaos, at least here in first map, on their own choice, of course, right? But this series isn't over, and I do like that Maui Snake alludes to Sheikh Zula's affinity for Nuke. I think that comes into the equation following up, so we'll see you guys there. We've got the analysts in between maps. Me and Vince will meet you guys on Nuke.